Hi guys, I'm John Zombro with The Lifetime Athlete and welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being with me today. In this video, I'm going to describe the Essential Training Center, which is a home gym setup that I usually recommend for many of my online coaching clients as well as members of the Training Tribe, which is our online training team. So the items that will really help you to get the most out of your training and the most from your budget will be these, and they really can be presented in any order. But I'm going to start with suggesting that you create a dedicated space somewhere in your home, wherever that's possible. And for many folks, that's a garage. Garage gyms are extremely popular. The back porch works, a corner of a spare room, or someplace in the basement. But the whole goal with that is that you have a dedicated space where things are set up and ready to go, and that you can always go to as your workout sanctuary. Another key with your training area is that it needs to have somewhat bright lighting. However you accomplish that, that's going to be helpful because it's good for visibility, it's good for energy, and it makes it a place where you want to go to and be. Next up would be having a Bluetooth speaker or sound bar or any type of sound system that allows you to get really high quality audio in your training center. That's helpful many times when I'm working with my clients for watching videos such as on-demand videos where we're doing some instruction, or in a live interactive session. High quality audio is really helpful, and it's also nice for your training tunes when you're doing that. The next thing is a rubber floor mat, and there are all sorts of rubber flooring products that you can get, but they're very essential for traction and for some of the dynamic movements that we do, and also the ability to drop weights and protect the floor. You can even use horse stall mats, which are available at many farm supply distribution centers for a very small investment. So again, rubber flooring, highly recommended. Next up is, if you're really serious about your training and you want to get results, you need a bench. And a flat bench is fine, but we want you to have a very sturdy, high quality one. They're not very expensive, but it is a wonderful long-term investment. You'll get much great service from it. To that, add at least 3 pairs of dumbbells, and you can use any style of dumbbell. You can use the selectorized systems if you like. I happen to have the kind of the old school cast iron models here, which are fine. And you may not either be able to afford or want an entire set, but having 3 pairs, which you deem to be light, medium, and heavy per your standards, will allow you many, many great training options. Also to your kit, we want to add 2 kettlebells, wonderful training tools. And if you have one which you, again, deem to be fairly light for your strength level, and then one that's on the medium heavy side, that's going to be extremely useful for you. Now we get to one of the more interesting topics, which is the barbell. And you really do want a serviceable barbell. One of the 1-inch diameter bars, kind of the home gym styles, are fine, and that you'll get quite a bit of use from it, particularly if you have 50 or 60 pounds of plates available in 5 and 10 pound increments. This is great. Now, let's say that's not available. Another option is to make your own weight bar simply by using pipe of various diameters and these press-on caps, which are available at any home supply store. Simply fill this with sand or gravel, and you have at least a serviceable bar until you can acquire a proper barbell. And this particular one weighs about 15 pounds. You can create them to weigh anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds. So they're not super heavy, but they do serve a purpose. Now, let's say you also are feeling a bit handy and crafty. You can simply use plastic containers and pipe or conduit. And if you take a section of this, place a screw through it, and then you put it inside of each of these with some quick setting concrete, you've basically created either a barbell or a dumbbell. And these can be made longer or shorter depending on what you're doing, literally for just a few dollars, and they are really nice to have. Now, the next thing we need is a sandbag. A sandbag training gives us a number of movements that are extremely useful, and here is the functional training sandbag, which I utilize often in my workouts, and I'll post a link to the video that tells you how to make that. But wonderful product. You can also buy commercially made sandbags and fill them, training sandbags, and they do the job quite well. To this, we're going to add a medicine ball, probably of what you consider a moderate weight, depending upon your strength, from anywhere from, let's say, 5 to 15 pounds. Then we go to having some exercise tubing with handles, and I usually recommend that you go for a medium to medium heavy resistance on the tubing. It tends to give you a few more training options and have a little bit longer service life, but these are really nice to have. We also want you to have a padded mat, and this can be a yoga mat like this one that you're going to place down on your rubber floor, or you can use any cushion exercise mat that you have available. A stretching strap. This happens to be a dedicated stretching strap with loops in the nylon webbing. It's very useful for using to stretch the body in various manners and highly effective. But if you don't have that available, you can always use a section of rope, and it does the job entirely well. I also like to suggest that all my clients have a serviceable jump rope. A jump rope is a wonderful training tool, and it does so many things for both our conditioning and also developing a good foot and ankle function. And in the absence of the jump rope, you can always do that in invisible fashion. So there's a way to get the job done. Hashtag no excuses. We also need a pull-up bar. And it can be any variation, like for example, this one, is part of the Smith machine. But you can have a freestanding one, a doorway model, etc. You can use handles or rings. Anything works as long as you have a sturdy and safe overhead pulling mechanism. Now, let's go to kind of a wish list. So what we just went through is a very reasonable budget for most people, and you may have some or many of the items already. But over time, it is probably advantageous to get yourself an Olympic bar. It doesn't have to be the highest quality bar, but just a basic standard Olympic bar, and that is going to give you just many more lifting options. You're going to want some basic iron plates and a couple of rubber bumper plates as well. Along with your Olympic bar, you're going to want a rack or a cage, a power rack or a Smith machine, something where you can safely put heavy load into some of the basic exercises like the squat and bench press. It's extremely valuable for the motivated athlete and fitness enthusiast who just wants more out of their training. So I highly recommend that. And then staying on the wish list idea, eventually acquiring a plyometrics box, which can be made of steel or wood. There's various configurations of these. And perhaps a moderate height, again, gives you some extra training options. And finally, let's say you have an outdoor aerobic training or cardio option where you hike or you walk, you run, you're a cyclist. All those things are great, but in your training center, if you happen to have one piece of cardio equipment that you like, that's going to be wonderful. It could be a treadmill, it could be a trainer for your road bike or mountain bike, a spinning type bike, elliptical. rower, ski erg, you name it. My preference is to use the assault bike or Airdyne. I just enjoy putting those into the training, but it's up to you. And if you have these items, you're going to be well equipped to do almost any type of training that you need to do and get really great results with everything that you do. So that is the Essential Training Center. Again, we use this with the training tribe and also my coaching clients, but for anyone who happens to see this video, this can help you to cut through some of the BS and really get the things that you're going to get some use out of and don't feel like you waste your money. So thanks for being with me today. This is Coach JZ signing off from the Lifetime Athlete, where not only you can achieve peak performance at any age, you can become hard to kill.